Samia Katab. I teach at Westlake Middle School, English Language Arts and History. It's going to be starting my 5th year in the district.
I'm David DeLayu. I teach science at Oakland Tech High School. This is the end of my 25th year in the district.
Kathleen Burns. I teach 2nd grade at Cleveland, 8 years in the district.
Vincent Oliver, Skyline High School, 20-year teacher.
Hi, I'm Renee Briggs. I worked in the districts in various capacities since 1997, and I'm currently the music teacher at Claremont Middle School.
Steve Randall. I'm a 2nd grade teacher at Lafayette Elementary School, and I'm, as you so eloquently described me, your human capital for 26 years now.
Hi, my name is Kay Swenson. I've been teaching in Oakland since 1998. I've taught at Horace Mann, Hawthorne, and Fruitvale schools and currently teach at Sankofa Academy. I'm an Oakland homeowner, and I'm committed to my career as an Oakland teacher. Is this how I change this right here? Okay. So we've been working under imposed terms for 2 years, and this has resulted in a very demoralized workforce. OEA wants to move forward and bargain in good faith to reach an agreement by next year. We've prepared a PowerPoint presentation that includes some of the important articles that we would like to open, and our full Sunshine proposal can be found as a PDF on the district website as well as on the OEA website. We look forward to working with the district to settle a fair contract and hope that the disrespect, like what we experienced tonight, having to wait until 11 o'clock to give a 15-minute presentation, is not what we will experience in bargaining. For our first slide, OEA believes students in Oakland deserve safe, stable, sustainable, and successful schools. Our working conditions are our students' learning conditions.
Okay, so this one is about site professional development planning. We believe staff development planning has to be based on the real needs of students, teachers, and support staff at individual school sites. When I talk to teachers in this district, there are teachers who love their PD time and teachers who feel like it is a complete waste of time. And if you ask those people questions, the difference is very clear. Where teachers control the PD and what is on it, they buy into it and they think it's valuable. Where it is forced on them by principals or by central administration, they generally think it is useless. And I personally have seen, many millions of dollars spent by this district on things that were thrown out the next year, essentially. And so we've wasted lots and lots and lots of money on professional development programs, and we should stop doing that. If you want professional development to work, it needs to have teacher input at the site. Otherwise, you don't get what you're paying for. This is not a proposal that increases how much money the district spends. It's a proposal, it's a question of whether we waste the money that we are currently spending and mandated to spend, or whether we use it in a way that's productive. Our working conditions are our students' learning conditions, and staff development that teachers use benefit our students. Staff development that's imposed on teachers is simply wasted money.
Okay, OEA would like to open Article 9 on academic freedom, specifically around, among others, course pacing guides in meeting the diverse academic needs of our students. We require flexibility in our pacing and our planning of the curriculum. If we have rigid pacing guides, rigid assessment schedules, we can't make these diverse needs get met. It's useless to have data on students because the assessment calls for the timeline and you haven't had an opportunity to teach it yet. Students grow both physically and educationally at different rates in different ways. We need to acknowledge that. A rigid pacing guide will not accomplish what our goal is, which is to educate the students in Oakland, and our working conditions are our students' learning conditions.
Article 12, assignment, transfer, vacancy consolidation policy. This year, OEA worked with the district to reach an agreement around priority placements, and we really believe that this was a good, positive step forward, and we're very committed to working with the district and continuing discussions around this. My personal experience with transfers is that the current process is outdated, it's inefficient, and quite frankly, it's shrouded in mystery. And it benefits neither teachers nor students. And if the district would like to retain teachers, then this process needs to be made more transparent.
Article 13.
I believe you have the, yeah. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Article 13, performance evaluation. Evaluation needs to be a process that values, supports, and develops educators and their skills, not a way for administrators to punish teachers they don't like or don't want. The goal of any evaluation system is to strengthen the knowledge, skills, and practices of teachers to improve student learning. As an OEA site rep at Skyline High School, I have seen notices of unprofessional conduct and notices of unprofessional, unsatisfactory performance that were obviously intent on demoralizing the teacher by using insulting language, that I was told by my administrators at Skyline that the wording was given to them by the district's legal department. The people, the processes, and programs necessary to recognize good teaching and assist growing teachers and get rid of uncaring or ineffective teachers already exist, but school administrators supported by the board need to obey Ed Code and use the contractual conditions that exist in the last contract of 2008. My working conditions are my students' learning conditions.
Hi, Article 15 deals with class size and caseloads, and we know that research shows that students learn better in smaller classes, and we'd like to discuss the areas where we believe current class sizes are unreasonable, specifically in special education and decile 1 and 2 schools. Class size and caseload limits, which there are none now, would help to recruit and retain teachers in these areas. My personal experiences as a music teacher, I am often in professional developments grouped together with the PE coaches, and we are the two areas of the school where our class loads can be up to 50, 55 kids. And I also am right next door to the special ed classes, and so I often try to accommodate and integrate the special ed students into my classes, which sometimes are already 50 kids, 40 kids, and more special ed kids. We can't give the kids the support that they need and deserve if we're allocating basically 1 minute per student per day. If there's 50 to 55 kids in a class, how are we supposed to, deliver meaningful instruction, assess their comprehension, reteach and enrich the curriculum, and meet the social and emotional needs of each child, and document the attendance and the behavior so that we can report to the parents? And, you get the point. And then that's not even to consider, like, in something like a PE class, where there's one teacher and 55 students, and another teacher with 55 students, and they have to share a small yard area of a school. It's 110 kids with 2 adults trying to teach physical activities that require a lot of skill. So, it's dangerous, and we've heard about safety before. So our working conditions are our students' learning conditions.
Article 24, compensation. If OUSD is serious about recruiting and retaining quality educators and wants to prevent the constant exodus of teachers to other districts, they must not only improve working conditions, but offer competitive salaries. OUSD receives extra monies from Oakland taxpayers through Measure G to recruit and retain teachers, but pays the lowest salaries in Alameda County. Other districts without such funds still pay more by following California State Education Code 41372. Instead of creating new administrative positions, like you did a few board meetings ago, in the name of supporting teachers, put the money in the classroom. and maintain positions like program specialists and give OEA members the raise we deserve. The money is there. It's a question of priorities. Our working conditions are our students' learning conditions.
And lastly, we'd like to open up Article 25, Peer Assistance Review, with a new subsection on new teacher support. Creating a system that allows new teachers to team up with a site member would provide support and understanding of school culture to promote retention and stability throughout the district. In my last 4 years of teaching in Oakland, I've seen many teachers come and go. Some who realized teaching wasn't their calling, others who were lured by more competitive salaries in other districts, always destabilizing our schools and our community. Unfortunately, I've also seen many teachers with great potential leave because they didn't get the support they needed to get through the most difficult years in this profession. Providing new teacher support is an essential component for creating stable, sustainable, and successful schools. We, as teachers, are each other's best resource. Our working conditions are our students' learning conditions.
So I hope everybody sees that teachers clearly are the key in providing students with a quality education. How can we possibly expect to recruit, mentor, and then keep qualified teachers if we cannot offer them sustainable conditions of work or fair compensation for the critical work they do? How can we stem the growing number of dropouts and pushouts if we are forced to measure our students only by their test scores and not by their unique gifts and talents? How can we stop the increase of violence in Oakland if we're not giving young people a real alternative to gangs in the streets? We cannot continue to blame students, their parents, and educators for the refusal of our state and nation to live up to their obligations. In this contract proposal, we set out to once again address the conditions in Oakland schools and to fight for what's really needed to improve them. Teachers' working conditions are our students' learning conditions. And I'd like to end this part by saying that I am really grieved that that all of these teachers who have classrooms to pack up, students who are mourning the end of the school year, excited, etc., they're not going to get back home to bed before midnight or after. And I've made a request. I appreciate that President London considered it, but we've seen in the past that requests have been made for people to move earlier in the agenda. It wasn't done. I'm looking at board members laughing, making faces. It's really disrespectful. When you hear teachers say again and again and again, and I've stood here for 6 years and come to every single board meeting unless I was out of town, and you've heard again and again from teachers how disrespected we feel in this district. You could talk to anybody in local districts and surrounding areas, and they don't feel that same disrespect. And the fact that all of us and all these teachers in this district are willing to come back, we do it because of the kids. We sure don't do it for the kind of treatment we get from the Board of Education, our elected officials, and we don't do it for the kind of treatment we get from a lot of the administration. And I think it's really important that you acknowledge that. We want to go back into bargaining. We want to bargain a fair contract, but we're not going to just be pushed around. So this is the start of we hope to go back into bargaining at the end of the summer, and we'll be back.